Hello everyone, this is just a relatively short video talking about some healthier food options you can choose from. So I'm going to show you some healthier food swap ideas to help you limit the amount of sugar, salt and fat in you and your child's diet. Before we get on, I'll just quickly go through the recommended daily amounts for sugar, salt and fat intake. So the government suggests that children aged 7 to 10 should have no more than 24 grams of sugar a day, which is approximately 6 sugar cubes, and children aged 11 and over should have no more than 30 grams of sugar a day, which is approximately 7 sugar cubes. And then for salt intake, 7 to 10 years should eat no more than 5 grams salt a day, of which sodium should be maximum 2 grams, and 11 years and over should eat no more than 6 grams of salt a day, of which sodium should be less than 2.5 grams. And for fats, men should have less than 30 grams of saturated fat per day, women should have less than 20 grams of saturated fat per day, and children should have less saturated fat than adults per day. So to start off, these are some of the food swap ideas for breakfast. Choosing a healthy and nutritious breakfast is very important, and it can also improve your child's mental health and well-being. So here I have noted down some breakfast options such as cereals that you will want to avoid as well as ones you will want to choose. Most of the cereals out in the market, especially the ones that are heavily marketed to young children, contain a high amount of sugar and fat. So when choosing cereals, you have to be very careful that you are choosing the ones which have the lowest amount of sugar and fat, but also contain added vitamins and minerals. Some examples of cereal that you might want to avoid offering to your child would be Frosties, Crunchy Nut Cornflakes, Cocoa Pops, Cookie Crisp, Frosted Wheats, and Honey Cheerios. And although plain Weetabix is healthy, Weetabix with chocolate flavoring contains much more sugar and would not be a good choice anymore. And some breakfast cereal swaps that you can go for are shredded whole wheat cereal, bran flakes, plain Weetabix, Ready Braggs, malted wheat cereal, cornflakes, puffed oats, and puffed wheat. Choose no added sugar muesli instead of the added sugar ones, since a bowl of muesli with added sugar can contain almost as much sugar as a bowl of frosted flakes. And granola with chocolate has high amount of fat and sugar, and although granola with dried fruit, nuts or seeds might sound healthy, it is actually high in fat and sugar as well. And croissant is high in saturated fat, and cereal bars are high in sugar and fat, so they're all not a good choice of breakfast. You can choose wholemeal toast, plain natural yogurt topped with chopped fruit, or porridge. Porridge made with plain oats and semi-skimmed milk would be a top choice for breakfast. And instead of adding extra sugar and salt to your porridge, you can add some fruits for extra sweetness. I added some pictures to help you understand better the breakfast swaps that I suggested. So instead of these, you might want to choose these. Then for lunch swaps, instead of split pot yogurts or pudding pots, you will want to choose lower sugar fromage frais or plain natural yogurt. And instead of muffins, crisps, chocolate, cereal bars, cakes, or juice pouches, you can choose a slice of malt loaf or fruited tea cake, fresh fruit, tinned fruit in juice, not syrup, or plain rice cakes, or plain popcorn, bite-sized fruit, or dried fruit. And then you would also want to choose stronger flavored cheese, because then you will be using less amount for the same taste. And go for reduced fat dairy products such as yogurt, cheese, and milk. And go for lean meat and cut off fatty parts from meat. Choose lower fat spreads and plant-based or nut-based spreads instead of butter or mayonnaise. And use vegetable oil instead of animal fats when cooking. Reduce the intake of processed meat such as ham and sausages, and try to choose whole grains instead of refined grains, as they contain more dietary fiber and nutrients. And you will also want to reduce having too much fizzy drinks, tinned soup, or fruit bars, because sometimes tinned soup can be high in sodium. Dinner swaps would be a bit similar to lunch swaps, so you would be wanting to control your salt and saturated fat intake here more, as these can add up very quickly if you're not carefully choosing what you eat for both lunch and dinner. And also try to go for reduced salt or sugar versions of sauces, and instead of store-bought pizza, having homemade healthy pizza would be better. And also try to reduce the amount of salt or soy sauce you use when cooking. And again, try to use vegetable oils instead of animal-based oils and animal fats when cooking. Choose leaner meat or mince, and try to avoid using fatty cuts of meat. And that will be the end of this video. Thank you for listening. Bye.